Welcome back everyone, Mudford here. I'm out in the shop today working on my Honda 400EX. This is my Hare Scramble or XC quad. When I go to start it, I notice it, especially when it's cold, the starter will crank over maybe one revolution and then it will kick out, and you can hear the starter spinning, but it's not turning the engine over. So it's not like a car starter where it kicks over and engages the flywheel. It's always engaged, and underneath behind the flywheel there's a starter clutch, and it's a one-way clutch, so it just freewheels most of the time. And then when you put power to the starter, it'll push the engine over. So there's obviously some sort of a problem with mine, so I've ordered one from Rocky Mountain ATV. First thing I'm going to do is take this cover off and take the gear and the shaft out. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull all these 8mm and take this cover off and just slide it out of the way. It's got electrical with it, so you can't take it completely off unless you unhook wiring, which we don't need to do. So I'm just going to flip it around over here. So stay with me. And it's going to go something like this. We're done here in the fender well. So I'm just going to grab my 8mm, take all these off. There is a 10mm here on this nut, and I already took my shifter off. So this didn't really go as planned. The last person who had this flywheel off buggered things up a little bit. I can see some marks on here, and it didn't look quite right in here where the threads are. So I got this new, I just got this from Rocky Mountain ATV and tried to thread it in here. Thought I had it, tightened it up, stripped out, and didn't get it to budge. So my next plan is we're gonna hopefully cut this end off with a grinder, clean up the threads, and we'll give her another shot and see if I can get it. So my threads were just too buggered up in there. So what I did is I put a steering wheel puller I had on. This is just like a Horrible Fright one, just a cheap one. I got some bolts that look like they're working, so hopefully this will pull it off. I'm just going to give her the old try. I'm a little bit nervous to use the impact on it. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking the first time. I was just bending the tool up. What I need to do is have it, the middle part on the shaft, and pull the outer part out. I don't know why I had the bigger piece on there. That was dumb. This should work a lot better. Alright, I'm on plan C now. I had screwed up my other puller. Last night I found out somebody had taken this flywheel off and stripped out where the tool's supposed to go in there. So then I stripped out my new puller. Still didn't get the flywheel off, so I switched to my puller and ended up bending it and just totally wasn't thinking when I hooked it up and just bent it up. And I also stripped the threads where the flywheel bolt goes. So I got some sleep. Hopefully I'm thinking a little better tonight and not doing stupid things. So I got a new flywheel puller from Harbor Freight today. So I got it fitted in here. So I have a little bolt in the end of the puller because there wasn't anything with the kit that would fit inside of the flywheel. So I have a small bolt that is hopefully keeping the crankshaft from being damaged any worse. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down, and hopefully it will pull this flywheel off for me. Okay, I did get it with this setup. I was trying with the ratchet and it was kind of a struggle. So I ended up using the impact on it a little bit and it popped right off. So we're good to go now. Once you get your flywheel off, it'll look like this. The Allen bolts go through the flywheel into this starter clutch assembly. Once you separate it, you can pull it apart like that. You can see there's a little lip here, and that is where the lip on this goes. That holds it in place here so it can't move out right into position. My old one doesn't look damaged or anything, but when I shake it, you can see that it hangs like the spring is loose and it's probably worn. You can see there's quite a lot of slop in it. Doesn't fit very tight. This is the new one. And it's not super tight, but it does fit much tighter than the old one. So I'm guessing that that is the problem. I don't see anything really worn out bad or any damage to anything. So we're just going to replace that. So you just simply put the new one in like that. And then you line up the holes through the flywheel. So I just have to put the Allen bolts in and clean this up a little bit. I'll probably do that first. It's magnetic, so that's why it has all these little pieces of metal stuck to it. So I just got the tap. I don't know how well you can see in there. The threads are pretty buggered up. I've had this in a couple times. It's real hard to get started because of that keyway. So you'll think you got it. There we go. My first few times it would want to go crooked because the opening was so big between here. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough left of these threads for the flywheel puller to work. But we will give it a try next time. I just wanted to, while I had it out, at least clean it up. Here is the Tusk flywheel tool. I had to cut the end off because when I first put it in here and my threads were so buggered from the previous owner, I stripped the end of this. So I got that all cleaned up now, and I got this cut off and fixed. There we go. So it works pretty good. I like to put the keyway straight up if I can. This is a pretty good one. It's not moving around or falling out at all. Sometimes on some machines, if you have the keyway to the side or down, you might have trouble keeping the key in there. So I've just gotten the habit of doing this, and it's real easy to line up then because you know to put it straight up on your flywheel. And we got it started. What we're going to do is just get a board there and get it tapped in for a ways, and then we'll tighten it on. So I already put the bolts in for the starter clutch. So you can see there on here, everything looks good there. Tapped right on there with just a little rubber mallet, no problem at all. You just got to be careful that you're wiggling this around to get the starter clutch to start where it goes, because the last thing you want to do is break that. I mean, that's what I'm replacing, so that wouldn't be good. So it's on there now. I'm going to go ahead and put the bolt in. So it's pretty easy putting this back together. I just finished tightening the flywheel up and then just slid the cover on. I'm going to slap the gears in here. Now I'm going to slap the starter gears in and this cover on, and then just throw all the bolts on all the way around, and then we'll be set. So I went ahead and slid the shaft in, put the gear on, and the spacer. Now I just need to put the cover on, and it just has a couple dowels to line it up. It should tap right on there now. Okay, it's on now, just bolt. Okay, we got the side cover on. Only stripped one bolt, that's a plus. So I'm gonna go ahead, I have it in neutral. I turn the choke on. We're gonna go ahead and fire it up and see if it starts any better. Oh yeah, much better.